Hello, friends. There's nothing that makes me more proud of the effort I put into producing this show than how the music doesn't fade out. It just stops. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, I'm Pete. Hi, everybody. It's Pete, the planner, joined by Kristen, the Elanius, and Damien, the Dunn. Hello.
Hello.
Good day.
How y'all? How y'all doing?
I'll just come out and say it. Both Kristen and I have had interactions with people this week asking if I was your son.
Well, wait, Jameson, you didn't get any music?
Oh.
We
That
did.
can't be true. Wait, hey, Andy, did you hear the music there? Jameson's older. I'm assuming he just couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Andy, please tell me you heard the music of the intro there.
How could they not hear it? But
just
we
do it again.
hear it.
Just play it again. Let's start over.
Andy got music. We're not starting over. Dame, I would be proud to be your father. Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So, Kristen, someone said, is Pete Dame's dad?
They said, so Damien's like Pete's son.
Oh, boy. Jeremiah is joining from West Virginia today, trying to get back to the Hoosier State. Well,
it's beautiful in West Virginia this time of year.
Good luck with that. I've been to one small part of West Virginia, and it was like a mountainous, very rural area. I can't say the word rural, so I try to say it fast.
It's pretty much all of West Virginia, Pete.
Dame, you could argue at one point I kind of looked like I could be that much older than you, that I sired you. I don't feel that's the case anymore. I think we literally look the same age.
Yeah, it was always more shocking that somebody would think that. I'm assuming just because you're the CEO, and so you're.
Why are we saying that tone? I mean, how about some damn respect around here?
Clearly you're just dragging your good-for-nothing son around to try and make something of him, and that was it. So
I'm very anti-nepotism. Very anti-nepotism. I will say this: I'm just surprised people know my last name. To be fair.
True.
Hi everybody, good to be with you. On the show this week, an email from what one would call an emailer. Yep, and that's what we're gonna do. Pretty cut and dry stuff. My 25th wedding anniversary is this coming week. I took a child bride. Here's the thing: at 22, we were 22, a month out of college. That's young.
Indeed.
I mean, my parents got married, I think, when they were 20 and 19, or 20 and 20. It would have been 20 and 20. They got married when they were 20. I remember when I was 22. There's no chance my kids get married at that age.
No.
Oh, boy. All right. What's going on with you, Kristen? You haven't had the child yet?
No.
All right.
Didn't have a great week though.
Oh.
No, we've you know how things are supposed to come in threes?
Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne.
Well,
and what one of the cows? What happened?
No, we've blown past that. So last week, one of us lost a cell phone. It just decided it didn't want to work any longer. My walking pad quit, and I'm a walking pad girly, so that was devastating. The dogs peed on the carpet, our brand new carpet, our potty trained 7 and 9-year-old dog, both. And then our basement flooded on Saturday.
Holy Moses. By the way, hello, J.O., Ian, and Rick Swink. That you talk about things come in threes. Hello, Ian, J.O., and Rick Swink.
Oh, my.
Blew
past the threes.
Kristen, that stinks.
Indeed. I went downstairs, didn't really plan to, and realized there was a small pond in our basement. And so, what do you call him? My partner was in the driveway waiting for the rain to slow down a little bit to come into the house. And I called and said, hey, do you think you could get in the house? And he said, yeah, I'm going to be in a minute. And I said, well, maybe you could come now because our basement's flooding. And he said, what? And I said, is there an echo in here? The basement's flooding.
I definitely
get in the house.
Passive aggressiveness certainly helps. 521. Airlock is back. That stinks. That's bad.
Yeah. He bailed water out of the basement from 3:30 until like 11.
Question time.
Time out. Granted.
Dame, I hear bail water out of the basement, and I get an image of a man with some metal pails, Tom Sawyer style, like bailing it out. And
suspenders?
Yeah, suspenders. He's got rolled up pants, maybe a straw hat and a corncob pipe. Shirt off, of course, just to show you who's the boss.
Absolutely.
Any of that true for him?
No, thank goodness we had a shot back. But water obviously gets heavy really quickly. We had to move it from the water was coming up a drain in the floor because we got like somewhere between 4 and 5 inches of rain in 2 hours on Saturday. And so it was just too much water. And so he was sucking water up 12 gallons at a time.
Man, I could just see him sucking it up and then blowing it into the shop.
He's not gonna think this is funny.
He listens?
If I would show him that, he would not think that was funny. But like 12 gallons at a time, dumping it into the sump pump and just repeating that process from like 3:30 to 11. So it was not a good time.
Dame, how are you?
Considerably better than what miscellaneous has gone through in the last week. It was I'm looking forward to a big green egg festival tonight in our little fair town. So we're gonna have lots of people cooking on green eggs and gonna go sample their wares.
Before we get started, I had a chance. Hello, Cheryl. I had a chance to go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, the brand new, like near $70 million renovation museum. Holy cow. Not a museum. I don't mind a museum, but I'm never like, oh, that was a great, unbelievable experience. Dame, I thought of you immediately as a car guy. You guys have got to go to that place. We're taking our kids. Our kids don't give a rip about anything. And we're taking it's like unbelievable. Went on Wednesday night for a thing. So anyway, for those in Central Indiana or those not in Central Indiana, it's amazing. You got to do it. So
do they still let you go out on the track and make a lap?
It's a good question. It was at night. It was sort of a business a bit. Right. So it was also like 1,090 degrees. So I get so sad with this weather. Just sad.
So hot.
So hot. I mean, I feel like a pregnant lady in July.
We also had no power yesterday. So I had no AC yesterday afternoon.
You lost your right to vote?
Yes.
No power.
That as well.
Okay. Andy says, write that down for whenever to come to Indiana for presentation of donkeys to Kristen. Yeah. The donkeys still got to come. I want to go post-birth donkeys.
Post-birth donkeys.
Yeah, the donkeys will have been born, right, Dave?
That's okay.
But I meant like Margaret,
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Kristen, you'll just have to tell us when you're ready for donkeys.
All right, picture this. We start with one donkey. Kristen is 9 months pregnant, and she rides in on the donkey with her partner leading her to a manger because there's no room in the inn.
That's exactly what.
Okay, are you tracking, Chris?
Love it.
Okay, and then you have a baby and you place it in swaddling clothing, which I'm sure you can get on Amazon, in the manger. And then Dame and I, two wise men, show up. He's a big frankincense guy, and I'm myrrh for sure. And then that's what we'll do.
And the third guy will replace gold with Bitcoin.
Yes, it'll be Big Rig Swink. In Sometimes I think this show is really just to entertain me. Like I feel entertained in this moment, and it's very selfish, and I don't know if anyone gives a rip, but thank you everyone for indulging that.
It helps your creative process, and so we're all part of it. We play a little role in your process.
I don't know if I talked about this at all last week, not getting too deep into it, but just the surface level. I've learned more about reverse mortgages in the last 2 weeks than I ever thought possible. Did I talk about that last week?
I don't remember if you did or not. I don't think you did.
Now, this is saying a lot because years ago, Dame and I went and sat down with a reverse mortgage expert who tried to talk to us about the glory of reverse mortgages. And Dame, as I revisited this time and went through a lot of experts to understand this thing, much different experience, respectfully. And they actually make sense for a certain population of folks. And I was like, man, I learned a lot. So maybe in the coming weeks, I might talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah, we've often said that financial products often have really good uses for specific circumstances, and you can't just say one particular product is horrible, because they're all created to make money, honestly, but to provide some benefit to the end user, and it's up to the salesperson to either shoehorn as many people into it as they can, or to actually use it as appropriately as possible. And reverse mortgages have a clear use case, and I'm glad we're finding some of them.
Kristen, is there any chance that you and your partner get a nativity this holiday season, the Advent season, with you all as the characters?
Oh, that's interesting. No.
Okay.
But I don't hate it.
All right, you have to choose a listener to be the angel that appears, that is harking. Who's the harking angel?
You guys, it's Andrea.
I was thinking the same thing. It's Andy or Danza is who is going to be the angel. Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of the two.
I don't know. Jeremiah's got all the audio equipment already. I mean, he can make it really impressive.
He's quite the hark broadcaster. Andy's very excited by that casting. Who else is in there? There's some other animals, I believe, that are lowing. Aren't cattle lowing? You guys already have cattle. Did they ever low?
I don't.
Of course.
You ask.
They just yell.
Can you text your partner right now to see if your cattle low?
Are the cattle lowing?
No. Ask him. Get him on the air. Call him.
I'm not calling him on the air.
I was gonna say, what would he do if you called him and said, "We're live on the air"?
Are the cattle lowing? Pete has a question for you.
He has a question. First of all, I cannot guarantee how he would answer the phone, and second of all, we would be. Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Start the show. We got to get him on the air at least before the birth, and Dame and I will do like a segment on dad tips.
Maybe he could record like live updates while she's in labor for us, and then we could compile them for.
Knowing Kristen's mouth, I'm not sure we can air
any of that on the air. Yeah, there's no way.
Let's just say when we go off the air, it's a different patter.
Don't throw me under the bus.
I mean, I'm not. What are you going to do about it? I'm just kidding. Please don't do anything. 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com, askpete@petetheplanner.com, and we check that email inbox. In fact, I'm going to look in it right now, see what's going on. And we did that earlier, and we selected a question to talk about this entire show. I used a plural pronoun there, we. So it is Kristen Elanius joining me, as well as Damian Dunn. Kristen, hello.
Hello, Pete.
My son, Damian, hello.
Good day, Pops.
I am not your father, would be proud to be. And in fact, you are older than me. Yeah, that wasn't like a big reveal.
I am technically, I'm older than Pete.
Well, 3 months, 4 months. When's your fall? I know you're in the fall.
Just over a month. I'm late October.
Yeah. Okay. Anywho, here is the email to be discussed today. Dear Kristen and co, my partner and I are regular listeners.
Time out.
I'm not sure what their fiber intake has to do with this. I'm sorry.
I liked it.
Thank you. Kristen just rolled her eyes. And your show is part of our Sunday afternoon ritual. We usually catch it when finishing up chores and trying not to burn whatever we're making for dinner. We're in our early 30s.
Time out.
I appeal to every generation. And I feel like we're doing pretty well financially. No debt besides the mortgage, a solid emergency fund, and consistent retirement contributions. And I clicked off the email. We even have a monthly money check-in that usually ends with a high five instead of a disagreement, which we count as a win. It's only a win if it ends up in hugging, but never mind. A friend recently suggested that we meet with a financial planner to help us, quote, get to the next level. We're open to the idea, but it got us thinking. Is this something we really need, or is it possible to do solid financial planning on our own with a little research and commitment? We're not afraid of spreadsheets, and we enjoyed learning, but we also don't want to overlook something important because we didn't know it was a thing we should be thinking about.
Time out.
I've used them all up.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not even in the first quarter. I'm out of timeouts. I'll say this. I love that last phrase. We also don't want to overlook something important because we didn't know it was a thing we should be thinking about. Does that not explain most financial challenges?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Would love to hear your take. Can a couple like us manage our financial planning on our own, or is there real value in bringing in a professional? Thanks for the guidance, the laughs, and the occasional financial reality check. Signed, Harry and Sally. So apparently these people are not in their 30s. They're in their 50s. They met in a diner. I love it. You guys, we talk on this. I didn't know what to show all the time about financial advisors, like all the time. Like, we are very pro financial advisor, and none of us are actually financial advisors, but we are in the financial industry. So what about these folks? They clearly listen to an amazing top 1% podcast in the world, which is ours. They seem like they have their stuff together. Kristen, what do they do?
I have a feeling that Damien and I might have different approaches to this. So as both of us are certified financial planner practitioners.
Both you and me?
Yes.
Sure.
And to your point, we are all very, very pro advisor planner around here. I don't know if they need one. And I just kind of feel like Damien might not agree with me. I could be wrong, but maybe.
I think it depends. I think there's a lot of possibility to be able to DIY this at this stage of the game for them. I think they could just have a conversation, maybe with somebody that could help them see around a couple corners and help them get a bigger picture idea in mind. I think it's possible that they could get away with putting off a more formal relationship with a financial advisor for quite a while. But I think the scope of what some financial planners have done and the services they've started to provide over the last decade or so, make it a bit more of an open conversation for something to consider for a wider group of people. Gone are the days that you could just count on a financial planner to manage your investments, throw a financial plan together, and pat you on the back and say, talk to you in a year at that point. We're seeing financial planners really start to dig into the details of people's financial lives, whether that's helping them structure debt, whether that's creating plans for debt elimination if they need to, trying to make sure that they are taking advantage of stock options properly, and really just digging into every aspect of somebody's financial life. And if this couple of Harry and Sally are in a stage of their lives where they've got a lot going on financially, having somebody to look over your shoulder and say, this is what you don't know. Kristen, your words, you don't know what you don't know. this is what we need to be aware of, and this is how we're going to tackle that. And if they can have somebody that's going to guide them through that process, they might really value having a trusted individual make sure that they don't inadvertently screw something up.
I have such mixed feelings, and it's sort of between what you all are saying, but I don't even think you guys are necessarily disagreeing. Here's where I'm at. I think it's within the ask and the setup of what a discussion with a financial professional would be. I think saying, hey, we're considering whether we need a financial planner or not. That ain't it, Queen. It's this. Hey, we take a serious interest in our personal finances. We believe we're doing a really good job. We would love a second opinion and ask you to, with a critical eye, take a look at what we're doing. And if there's need to offer alternative guidance, we'd love for you to do that. But with no expectation that that person becomes your financial advisor. There are people who would take that meeting, I think. Kristen, anybody taking that meeting?
You know, that's interesting that you say that. And we love to read between the lines of what people say in their emails, or rather what they don't say. And as the two of you were making your points, I'm looking back at the email, and their reference to doing pretty well financially is followed up by no debt, a solid emergency fund, and consistent retirement contributions. You guys, that's the tip of the iceberg of a true financial plan. And so, to the point of you don't know what you don't know, there could be a lot here.
Yeah, and plans aren't necessarily set up or started to fix what's broken. It's to provide clarity and help prioritize what's going on. And so if they are thinking they've got things under control at this point, they literally might be able to take it to that next level, as their friends suggested, by thinking through some of the financial topics that they absolutely should be having discussions about and maybe aren't. So maybe they've checked the box and they feel like they're crushing it, and they don't talk about their finances because they just think they've got it on autopilot at this point. But they've got the resources available to them that if they want to really lean into this, they might benefit from it.
What do they have to lose? Do you think what they have to lose is? Let me extend that thought. What do they have to lose in not reaching out to someone? Is it the fact that they feel like they're going to be sold? Because that's still a fear. Like people in our live chat right now, if you'd be so willing to do so, I have to think a fear for people not in the financial industry is that if you contact a financial advisor, they're going to try to sell you stuff. Dame, do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I think there's a big uneasiness about being sold products that either you don't need or don't understand, and you're never confident if you don't understand this stuff.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. Come back. A little bit more perspective. And I want to tell you the last few conversations Dame and I have had off the air and how it relates to this. That's all next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. This portion of the program brought to you by Herculean Prepared Meals. I'm a busy person. I want to eat a healthy meal that doesn't cost $1 bazillion, and I want it to be delicious. And I want it to fit my fitness goals, and so I go to Herculean Prepared Meals. They are frozen. If you go in the freezer of our headquarters here, you will see lots of prepared meals frozen, deep frozen. Like they will knock you out. If someone were to throw one of these meals at your head out of the freezer, it would injure you. And then it would delight you. Once you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes and 45 seconds, you could be eating things like I'm going to be eating today. Pot roast with 50 grams of protein for my lunch, and it cost me less than $10. So go to Herculean Meal Prep. You can order online, have them ship it to your door, frozen. In fact, I saw one of their shipper packages this week. Do it. Tell them Pete sent you. And I'll tell you, honestly, last 90 days, last 120 days or so, I've lost about 30 pounds. And a big part of that is my nutrition. So take a look, Herculean Meal Prep. There you go.
Did you say 50 grams of protein in your meal today? Holy smokes. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I can watch this. I got an iPad in front of me. Previously, I had a hard time lifting it up. Now Two hands, I can get it.
Swole.
Jo notes from a life insurance perspective here. They tried to sell us life insurance as a way to invest. That not an uncommon ask of advisors. We did not bite, but happy with the consultation overall. Yeah. So here's the thing: you can also say no, right, Kristen?
Yeah, but that's hard.
I bet I know what company that representative was part of.
Nope.
Actually, I know, and you're wrong.
Oh,
because I know what you're going to guess.
yes,
and you're wrong.
Okay.
But let's. Okay. It's Slack time. I'm going to send what the company is, and you tell me how wrong you were.
Well, clearly, I'm going to be wrong if you already know. It's not hard. I mean, you know exactly who I was going to say. Are you sending it?
I'm sending it to you right now.
How long does it take to type this out?
I misspelled it.
My gosh.
Okay.
Oh.
Sending it to me directly or to the?
No, to the. I put it in the radio show question Slack channel, which is really helpful.
Oh yeah, that's not who I would have chosen, but I'm not surprised by that either.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Speaking of the gym, I was just doing a little gandering while I was warming up on the treadmill this morning, friends, and I thought of this, and I'm looking around, and I'm just taking stock of what's happening in there. I'm in the worst shape of any of the males in the gym at 5:45, and I think that's a good thing. Right? Like it's like pickup basketball, Dame. You never want to be the best player on the court. You got to work into it. So I'm like, okay, if I'm the chump in here, give me some space. Is that a decent way to think about it? Or am I just the schlub?
I think that's a really tough spot to be in for a lot of people mentally, to be the worst in the room. I know, like when I was really into riding bicycle,
Yeah.
I hated being the guy that was slowing everybody else down. And so if I were to equate that to being the most out of shape guy in a room, I don't know how that would handle. Although I could find out really quick by just going to the gym once, and I'd know exactly what that felt like. But I don't know. I think if you've got the right mentality, I think it could be really motivating for sure.
Kristen, I feel like I have to grow a mustache because a lot of the guys that are in really good shape have mustaches.
Oh.
Just mustaches?
Yeah. Chest mustaches?
No, just.
Oh. Well, I mean, they're wearing clothes too, Dame, you weirdo. Okay.
Damien, maybe not between this break, but you told Pete and I that there was like a really big update on our stock picks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do that next break. I'll pull that up while you all are talking through the second segment, and I'll ignore you like Pete does us, Kristen, and it'll be great.
Great.
Okay.
I love being ignored by everyone on the show.
No, that's my favorite thing. I would ignore both of you in the first segment. Okay, so I'm going to do that. What? I didn't even hear what you reacted there. I'm going to go solo shot of Kristen right now because I have some breaking news that I want to share. Stop it. And I want to see Kristen's face when we announce this. There's the lovely Kristen. All right. Okay. So, Dame, are you ready to see this?
Let's do it.
Student loan forgiveness may soon be taxed again. That worked better than I thought.
I hate.
We saw the whites of your eyes.
I hate it. Yeah, the end of the year, the sunset on no taxation on income-driven repayment plans is supposed to sunset.
One expert, not you, because you're the expert, but one expert estimates the tax burden for such debt relief could range from $7,000 to $12,000. Now, here's why. I'm not going to judge it, but I'll just say this. In the many cases, someone who is receiving relief is someone in public service. It is a third grade teacher. It is a nurse at a hospital. Something like this. They don't have $7,000 to $12,000 to make a payment on. They don't have that money. A pastor, they don't have that money.
Right, but public service loan forgiveness isn't taxable and won't be.
Correct.
It's Now, to your point, if someone is receiving income-driven student loan forgiveness, they also don't have those funds. That's the whole point of being on an IDR, is that your household income doesn't support the monthly payment to repay the loans. It's been a long-standing problem, and we just kind of kicked the can down the road for like, I don't know if it was like a 6-year provision or something, and here we are again.
Here we are again. Let's do the show.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, talking about whether a put together 30-something couple has an emergency fund. They're in tune with personal finance. It almost feels like a personal interest of theirs. They're really good DIY people. Someone recommended taking it to the next level by meeting with a financial planner. And we're discussing whether that makes sense. Kristen began with, you know what? Maybe they don't need one. Dame went with, I don't know. There's different angles and things that maybe you don't even know about and you can get through there. And here's where I'm at with it. It's worth a meeting. It's worth at least a single meeting under the guise of, here's what we've done. Can you poke some holes in this? Sure. Like, just go with the negative. Hey, beat this up. Because then they're not trying to sell you things. They're just trying to beat it up.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, you and I and all of us know that it's unlikely that this couple has everything right. Life insurance, estate documents. Are they saving at an appropriate rate for what they're hoping to achieve in retirement or when they want to retire? I mean, there's any number of holes that could be punched in what they're doing right now that wouldn't be too hard to fix as long as somebody points them out and says, this is actually really important. So I think you go meet with somebody, do that intro meeting and see what's going on.
I'll be honest. I know a thing or two about money. This week, I spoke with 5 financial professionals, including Dame, to check my work on a case I've been working on for 2 years to say, okay, does this make sense? So if I'm going to do that and talk to 5, I think it makes sense for this couple to at least talk to one. Of course, this gets right into, yeah, in a perfect world that makes sense, but how do they find the one that's worth having that conversation with? Because not all financial advisors are built the same. How do you find the person that's willing to have that conversation? Is it fee only? What do you do here?
Yeah, in a case like this where the couple seems to have, a decent level of financial literacy and certainly some level of financial stability, and it seems like they're pretty confident as well, maybe looking for someone who would put together a one-time financial plan, something to help them address deficiencies. You might pay a larger just flat fee up front for this, and then you get to move on. And what I think is really interesting, well, implement and move on. What I think could be really interesting for a couple like this is a meeting like that, in my opinion, is just as much about the accountability as it is about what you might get from the meeting itself. And what I mean by that is there's so much work you're going to have to do before you can sit down with this person, and the conversations it's going to force you to have, the deficiencies that it's going to reveal in your personal finance communication could be well worth whatever the fee is for you to meet with this individual.
Dame, I have an alternative approach to this that just occurred to me, which I also did this week. This is the 6th financial advisor I talked to this week.
I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
I went through AI.
Yeah.
How's that robot voice?
Pretty robot-y.
You
Can you hear
did.
Yeah, we can hear it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm bailing it. Listen, I took the exact scenario. I laid out everything I was thinking. And then I said, beat this up. What am I missing? Be critical. No bias. That's all. That's a great starting point. And then, by the way, once you start going, would I benefit from a relationship with a financial advisor? Like, why not? What do you have to lose there? 29 seconds?
I mean, you could get bad advice. I mean, that's possible. I mean, you may not even know what to feed into AI to get right advice back at that point, or to be able to decipher if the advice they give you is in any way incorrect. So you have to have a little bit of knowledge. If you're going to truly DIY this, know what doesn't pass the sniff test and move on, because you're trusting something that Kristen and I have seen this. Pete, I'm sure you've seen it as well. AI falls on its face really, really hard sometimes, especially around intricate stuff like this. I just dealt with it yesterday on an issue regarding 401k contributions being misapplied and what the correction process was going to be. And thankfully, I'm married to Mrs. Advice, who was able to say, no, that's not how that's going to work. And so I was able to craft a correct correspondence to a participant.
Dame, when I was asking for your guidance earlier this week, what I really meant to say is, could you run this by your wife?
Yeah, sorry.
So I just plugged this question into AI, and I said, I love that I'm just ruining our show. What are these people missing here? Poke holes in their strategy. That's it. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's see if we know what's happening here.
Okay.
No mention of tax strategy. They didn't mention Roth versus traditional, or tax loss harvesting, or capital gains planning, or charitable giving strategies. Investment strategy ambiguity. I 100% agree with that. Within the email, you, as I think Kristen said, we read between the lines and try to figure out like what isn't said. What's not said here is there was a ton of, we'll call it risk tolerance, risk capacity ambiguity within it. No plan for big life goals, or at least they didn't mention it within that. And then a few more. No exit strategy, meaning they had no decumulation plan.
Sure.
No, there are risk management gaps in terms of life insurance and disability and estate planning. And finally, boy, oh boy, look at us. They don't know what they don't know.
Interesting.
We will not be replaced.
You know, for this couple, this reminds me of a case that I worked on here recently, where it seemed like a similar setup. Couple was really young. They were doing all the right things for that stage of life, but they did not adequately prepare for what was around the corner. And they're in a position where now they're really struggling financially. So like when I hear we're a young couple in our 30s, we're doing all these things right, no mention of children in the email, it's like, is family planning part of this conversation? And if it is, are we setting ourselves up for success in that next phase? Because we see that a lot, where it's like, things are going really well right now, but I wasn't planning for what I know is around the corner.
Yeah, being presently financially stable is a wonderfully comfortable spot to be, but you have to think about what things are going to look like in 10, 15, 30 years from now, because the best time to plan for that is now. You don't want to wait until you get out to that point and then have to try and make those changes, because frankly, resources a lot of times just won't allow you to do it. So if you can think about what's next for you, those are those conversations, super valuable conversations that we always talk about. They need to happen now, and they need to be revisited regularly just to make sure everybody's still on the same page, because ideas and opinions change all the time.
James says travel because I just popped up a comment from Andy, who's in our live stream, who notes, how are you going to pay for all those youth travel sports?
Exactly.
I'd love to explore this, and maybe we'll have to carry over after the break here, though. But there's something I noticed on this case that I just mentioned that I've been working on, is that when there's an undetected problem, or maybe say it a little differently, a suboptimal behavior that isn't corrected, it isn't like a broken bone, it isn't reset, and that persists in perpetuity, the impact of that can be absolutely catastrophic. That when it is not addressed or called out, or there's no attempt to change it, then things get really hard. And so, Dame, when we come back from the break, we'll play a little game, a little impromptu game. What sort of behaviors, when not corrected, and DIYers will do their DIY thing, can lead to catastrophe? All of that is next, right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. That was a great outro. Their plan will never achieve a courtyard or a genuine schleg. That's a deep cut. That's why Dan's is an angel.
She knows everything.
Kristen, I cannot get the image of you riding a donkey in your property with your partner just like guiding the donkey, fully pregnant, ready.
Muck boots.
Muck boots? Yeah.
Muck boots.
Can you guys at least? Can I make a point of contention against Mary here for a moment?
But wait, you mean our Mary or Mary?
I was going to say me, the metaphor Mary,
I'd
or
be careful.
Mary.
Well, I mean, just a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Should a pregnant lady be on a donkey?
No,
As opposed to walking?
Yeah, opposed to walking. It's a little more stable to walk than, hey, I'm going to get on this donkey who at any given time could get spooked. Yeah, I got Jesus around. Like what?
Maybe it's been the family donkey for years and they just know and trust this donkey. I mean, implicitly.
I'll just tell you, donkeys from Arimathea are known to be buckers. I don't I don't ever want this to stop. Like when I'm retired and I'm bored, I gotta do something to entertain myself, and I'm gonna miss this because I'm done with this crap.
Do quarterly Pete the Planner shows once you retire and just get the gang back together and open format for a while.
I just think Mary riding a donkey is unnecessary risk for all of humanity, and I think it's something she and Joseph should have considered.
She probably did.
Well, I'd love to see the notes because that just seems like a lot of risk.
I'm pretty sure the odds were in her favor.
I don't know. It doesn't seem so wise. That's why those three dudes had to show up.
Speaking of wise, Dame, I feel like you're going to throw us a really big curveball. Can you please tell us about our stock picks really quick?
Are you moving past my biblical questions?
You'll bring it back next break. I'm not worried about it. We'll revisit it.
We'll be here again.
Yeah.
Winners, for those of you who are just joining us recently, being introduced to our show, historically we pick stocks, winners and losers, and then overall S&P 500 performance for the year. We did that again this year with some very auspicious results. Pete, do you remember who you picked for your winner?
ConocoPhillips?
Correct. ConocoPhillips, down 4.95% so far this year.
Pretty good.
Love it.
Tristan, do you remember who you picked?
No.
Flutter. It was a sports
Gambling.
book, a gambling site. Up 16.3%.
Oh, hey, Queen.
I didn't expect
for
that.
those of you that have been around, I picked Vera Bradley. I took a flyer on it because of some of the messaging that was coming out on news sources about potentially selling, and thought maybe I get a little bump in price. They're down 44% for the year. Down 44% for the year. So
I'm about to buy a bag from there, so you're welcome.
This is for information purposes only. It's not the Swiss financial planning device. Consult a financial advisor.
Thanks, Ollie. I totally forgot to mention that. Losers for the year.
Yeah.
GM. Pete, you picked GM.
Yes.
Down 1.78% for the year. So
It's down. I'm winning.
For your pick, headed in the right direction for this. Kristen, do you remember who you picked?
Sirius XM.
Sirius XM. And they were underwater until they announced a new plan a couple weeks ago, ad-supported tier. You only have to pay $7 a month to listen to Sirius at that point. They're now up 3.19%.
You're terrible at this, Chris.
Trash.
Oh, just wait, because I haven't shared my loser pick for the year. Was Solar Edge. Solar Edge, a solar panel company based out of America somewhere.
Phoenix.
Pete, they're up 102% for the year. 102%.
This is like that time Pete picked Tesla.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Dave, you could be a thousandaire, bro.
I know. Or if I would have shorted it, I would have been in deep trouble.
Indeed. Margin calls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's not dwell on that. S&P 500 picks. Pete, you chose 11. Kristen did 12. I did 8. So far this year, it's up 7.78%.
What'd I do?
11.
11.
We'll get there. Wow. All right. Well, from Mary riding on a donkey to Dame riding the wrong pony to segment 3 in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. Talking about can savvy people who have very solid financial lives, can they DIY? And that turned into a conversation of what sort of behaviors or habits financially that are objectively bad go undetected, go swept under the rug for years. And when it's too late, decades later, you figure out, oh, we actually were heading in the absolute wrong direction, asleep at the wheel. So let's play a little speed round. Kristen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to pick a behavior first that you think that people can easily convince themselves of. This makes sense, and it actually doesn't. And then they find themselves lulled to sleep over decades. What do you think it is?
I hope that I understand what you're asking of me here, because the first thing that came to mind for me was like not being really intentional about our housing decision.
Okay, this is you are tracking, my friend.
Okay.
Say more.
So I just think that, especially in the real estate market we've been in, something that I feel we've anecdotally seen in our daily work is people are able to use the equity from their homes that have really appreciated to then like level up their housing choice to be in homes that they never thought they could have objectively afford. But it's like we're moving into those houses in our late 30s, in our 40s, sometimes even in our 50s. And then I'm thinking, well, we're taking a 30-year mortgage. How are we going to be able to sustain this over the long term? And I think it's all fine until you're ready to retire and you're running some retirement projections and you realize that the mortgage payment is unaffordable in retirement if it isn't eliminated before then.
That's a great one. Dame, what occurs to you?
Kristen's could, I guess, kind of be lumped in with where I went with this. I was thinking lifestyle creep, unchecked lifestyle creep, persistent life. Maybe persistence the best word. If you are not becoming less dependent on your income, the closer you get to retirement, you are absolutely setting yourself up for failure, because it's rare that people continue to maintain a rate of savings, especially as that income need increases as they get closer to retirement, increasing their savings at a rate which will continue to provide that amount of income in retirement. So if you are enjoying the fruits of your labors, good on you, but you got to make sure that you're doing it in a sustainable way.
How about what you believe your risk tolerance is and what your allocation actually is, right? It's the perception of what a aggressive or conservative portfolio is, the perception versus the reality of what that is. I think that often manifests itself in someone that's got one stock holding of a large company, even if it's like an employer of theirs, or a stock they like, one of those things, or to some level, the wrong mutual fund or ETF that doesn't provide the diversity that is necessary. I think that's a pretty common one. Kristen, you want to loop back to you?
Okay.
Can I ask you a follow-up question, Mr. Dunn?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Which direction do you think is more dangerous?
I was hoping someone would ask. No,
There's no think. There's an answer.
I don't know, Kristen. I could argue. I could argue them both. I think thinking you're conservative when you're not means that you're probably not keeping pace with inflation. and you're losing buying power. The other one has more dynamic risks. But if we're talking about being asleep at the wheel, I'd actually go thinking you're conservative and you're actually somehow less than conservative. Kristen is shaking her head in judgment and disappointment. I was able to identify that body language because I have known her for several years now. I have seen that look. Kristen,
I think it's the other way, because then it's that case that we talk about all the time on the show where someone's portfolio has a pullback, they sell it all, they're scared, they exit the market. I just think that there's too much to lose if you are thinking that your risk tolerance is higher than it is. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that's most people. Most people, I think they can take on more risk than they're actually comfortable with.
That only matters if they're checking their portfolio. It could be as aggressive. Well, maybe we shouldn't let them.
So we'll get back to the speed round, but this reminded me, I had lunch with a friend last week, and he told me he's a portfolio manager of a large entity. And he said on Liberation Day and shortly thereafter, April 2nd of 2025, that when the market corrected, went into a bear market, whatever you want to call it, a lot of their buy indicators went off. And so they were a little nervous because it was uncertain times, and they made the trades. And since then, they're up $100 million on that. And to me, investment conviction, and having an objective is what most amateurs completely lack. And that's why they go asleep at the wheel. So anyway, that blew my mind.
You want to talk about a huge value that a financial planner or an investment advisor can provide you, is they can take the emotion out of the decisions that you make around your investments. Because Kristen said it, if she said it once, she said it a million times. If money was just about math, this would be so much easier, but it's not. We all get tied to emotions to our money. And if you can have somebody stand in between that for you, there's a much greater likelihood that you're not going to shoot yourself in the foot and do something that's going to be long-term detrimental.
Kristen, you're up. Speed round. What is a behavior or a decision that is accepted and eventually gets put into something strange?
Not having conversations about college for your kids.
You're really good at this. Did I talk about this in the show last week? Maybe I did it this week, but I started running numbers again this week for my daughter, who's going to be a junior in high school, and knowing where she wants to go to school. And again, I've been planning since the day she was born, and we've got a lot of money saved. Damn, I looked at the number this week. We have a gap. There is a gap.
Yeah.
There's a gap. We might get there. We might get there by the time. We would. Here's the weird thing. She's in an age-based portfolio. So like she's not getting, the market beta. So I don't know, man. Kristen, you're right here, because if, again, I'm all over it, and I'm flabbergasted on that one.
Yeah, it's challenging, and especially with legislative changes with the Parent Plus loan landscape and borrowing limits for things like Grad Plus loans coming into play. We can argue about whether we think those things should or shouldn't be happening, but the reality is that they are. And it's going to change college savings decisions for people who don't even know that it's going to, because they're not having the conversation to begin with.
Dame, one more from you.
Assuming hitting the match is enough.
Oh, boy, these are so good. Guys, this could have been the entire show.
That was a good one.
I'm not a blame guy. However, oftentimes that's the fault of the plan sponsor, if not the record keeper, in their communications. Guys, I know there's lots of room. Just do your best to hit the match and you'll be okay. No, you won't. You won't, because if that's your strategy, yes, you won't be foregoing free money, but you also will not retire successfully because it's half of what you actually need to put away.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun. So let's do this. Let's everybody calm down. Dame is really worked up. He'll put his shirt back on, and after the break, we'll do this. We will do the biggest waste of money of the week, special racing theme this week, as well as the news. All of that is next right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. You guys ever, maybe you don't, but I do. I'll just ask, do you ever get a Calendly invite without context, or it's booked via and like I just got something from an entity that is a known entity, but I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is this fake? What's going to happen on this call?
Mm-hmm.
That happens to you?
Just maybe it was last week, and it was like, this wasn't an accident, and it was a Zoom call inviting people to hear something. I don't know, something about retirement or something. And I'm like, I did not sign up for this.
Yep.
What is this?
All right. I'm going to look it up on the air because there's nothing better than doing my business on the air. Is this a person? Oh, it's a reporter at a news publication, but a legitimate news publication. It's a yeah, right? I guess I'll have to talk to our marketing team to see if they set that up.
Probably a good idea.
You guys want a fun fact?
Of course.
Sure.
And Kristen, your partner, this is for him. Did you know
Boy.
that the number of head of cattle, I don't know how to say that, the head of cattle, the number of head of cattle in the United States right now is at its lowest level since 1951. Did that track for you?
I think he would say, yeah. Have you been to the sale barn lately?
And I would say, what's a sale barn? Is it near the yacht club where you put your sail up? Like, I don't know what a sale barn is.
Cattle, we actually were just talking about how hard it is for kids in 4-H to take multiple animals just because the investment, particularly in cattle, is so high. Starter calves last year, so just the buy-in, I'm going somewhere with this, I swear, was I think $1,700 per animal. And that's a lot of money for families to put up to then they have to feed them, Pete, for a whole year before they get the payout. So that's a lot of money for families to put on the line. They're expensive.
Dame, I go to the gym every morning to work on my starter calves, you know, because I need to get them bigger. So we've got low quantity of cattle. One could say the cattle are lowing.
Yes. Good way to tie that back.
Don't patronize me. That's a wild statistic.
It is great.
Yeah, it's correct. And of course, I mean, I love when I start explaining things like this on the show because I'm way out of my element, but it takes years to recover that type of supply. You need to raise heifers.
Did the place that you got that statistic from give you a reason or an indication?
Lots of reasons, actually.
Great.
All right. I don't remember what any of them were.
Many. Grain's expensive.
Oh, absolutely. Grain. Queen. Okay. Let's go.
Well, Bella should be having a calf any day now, so she'll be helping that population.
You could ride the calf to the manger.
No, not Bella.
Okay. Can you please ride a donkey to a manger to birth your daughter?
No.
Why is that a big ask?
Okay. First of all, it's
I would do it for the show. It's what? It's dangerous?
Dangerous.
Yeah, Hail Mary. That was my point earlier. Now you're making my point.
Yeah, but that was more common then. It's not common now for people to just like use donkeys for transportation.
Saying you're a coward. All right. In 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week, right here on the Pete the Planner Show, is the ProDrive Racing Simulator. Designed in collaboration with Ian Callum and originally debuted in 2022, ProDrive's Racing Simulator is getting some notable upgrades. The 16-layer steam-formed lacquered beach loop crafted by British super yacht builder Pendennis lets the carbon fiber monocue cockpit appear to float within. Connolly supplies the leather for the driver's seat, while Vaughtons is creating unique plaques for each one. Good Wool is tailoring bespoke covers, and Bang & Olufsen is supplying the audio via either HX headphones, optional Bayo Play H100 cans, or an external Bayo Sound A9 speaker. On the technical side, it's powered by a computer with a 12 gigabyte GeForce RTX graphics card and 16 gigabytes of memory running Assetto Corsa software hooked to a 49-inch 5K resolution curved monitor with 165 megahertz or hertz, no one knows, refresh rate, a precision sim engineering LM Pro steering wheel, SimaCube 2 Pro steering motor, and a mechanical, electrically adjustable pedal box. That was the most complicated read of Blom I've ever gotten through.
That was a lot of words.
Oh my gosh. It is actually visually a lot of words. Chris.
Oh boy.
What does an expecting young woman pay for a ProDrive racing simulator?
I have a feeling that it's going to cost me as much to pretend to drive as it would cost me to drive like an actual real vehicle, is what I'm thinking.
You're on the right path.
So I'm going to say like 35 grand.
35,000 American dollars. Now we go to our car expert here. His name is Damian Andrew Dunn. Dame, what does this cost?
At least 100 grand.
Maybe, but you can buy it from ProDrive for just $81,500. Dame, what is in the news this week?
American spirits haven't been this down since Casper remembered his death. Sales of U.S. spirits plummeted by 66% in Canada between March and April after the country pulled certain liquors from shelves to retaliate against President Trump's tariffs, Bloomberg reported. The de-whiskification of Canada didn't just ding American imports. It had a chilling effect on all alcohol sales. Total spirit sales in the country fell by a larger than expected 13% during that period. In addition to being bereft of Tito's and Jack Daniels, consumers north of the border are also boycotting the American products that remain on Canadian shelves. Per Bloomberg, over 60% of Canuck households are spending less on U.S. products.
Did you write the Casper line?
No, I wish I did.
That's so good.
I know.
Strange admission. I've been drinking substantially less over this time period, and it makes me feel like maybe the gap is simply my old habits. Because it's a lot. And what do we think there? I mean, it can't just be the tariffs and the trade. I think people are drinking less.
I think so.
I think people are drinking cheaper alcohol. Like they're getting beer like seltzer versus drinking hard liquor.
Kristen's during the same time frame. She's been pregnant. It's Kristen and I not drinking has led to a downturn of an entire industry.
Can only do so much.
You know, it's weird. There's been talk for 12 to 18 months that at least the bourbon hunters out there, you know, the whiskey aficionados are like, that whole thing is sort of fading a bit. It's just like people are like, because all it is just a hunt for collectibles. And so people are, what they're doing is they're moving on to other collectibles that don't create, liver damage, you know, like that's an interesting one, but you can kind of feel it, at least as far as I'm concerned. It feels like people are drinking less. Kristen says they're drinking cheaper.
Yeah.
Dane, what else is in the news?
If you're going to name your company Strategy, you better have one. And Michael Saylor does. He's the co-founder of what used to be MicroStrategy, a software firm turned full-time Bitcoin hoarder. Last week, the company bought another 6,220 Bitcoin, dropping nearly $740 million in the process to bring its total stash to more than 607,000 coins. Pete, that's just over 3% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist.
That's wild.
So far, the gamble's paid off. Since they started buying in 2020, the stock has jumped this many percent since 2020.
600%.
600 from the bald guy, Kristen.
I was going to say it's tripled.
3,500%.
Jeez.
You know, Dame, I've noticed like Trump Media, DJT, on the NASDAQ has also been accumulating Bitcoin. And there was talk this week that Tesla is reaccumulating after getting out of a bunch of Bitcoin at the wrong time. So they did the same strategy, accumulated a lot for their treasury, sold at the wrong time, and now they're reaccumulating.
GameStop's doing it too. The meme stock GameStop is going in on Bitcoin as well.
What else is in the news?
Alphabet and Tesla kicked off earnings season this week for the so-called Magnificent Seven, and yes, the results still matter a lot, actually. Together, these 7 tech giants are expected to carry the entire S&P 500 on their backs this quarter. According to FactSet, overall earnings growth for the S&P 500 is forecast at 14%. If you take out the Magnificent Seven, it drops to this percent.
Minus 12.
No,
Kristen.
not that bad. Minus 6.
3.4.
Oh.
Debbie Downers, 3.4%.
Right.
Call me Dame.
Looking ahead, analysts expect the gap to shrink over the next few quarters. The growth for the Big Seven is projected to cool off. We'll see about that. While the rest of the index picks up speed. By early 2026, both groups are expected to post nearly identical growth.
The market is, to your point, Dame, those are really holding up the S&P. We're getting daily all-time highs right now for the S&P and the NASDAQ. I'm going to click in on the NASDAQ right now in real time. It is not moved beyond today. It is not has not reached. Hold on, real quick. In real time, yeah, everyone likes real-time updates. A couple days late. Yeah, it is bouncing up against its all-time high today. And the S&P 500, let's take a look at that. Again, this is riveting entertainment. Don't turn it to a commercial. Also, bouncing up against all-time highs today. So it is strange to see when the rest of the market's earnings growth is in the 3% range.
Indeed. One last localish story.
I know.
Oh.
Caitlin Clark's 2024 Rookie Royalty WNBA Flawless Logo Woman 1 of 1 card. You thought you had a lot of words in your biggest waste of money of the week. That card just sold for this much on Thursday night.
So many guessing games. I'm going 1.3 million.
No.
Kristen.
Nowhere near that.
Oh.
6 years.
Over.
$660,000. $660,000. Considered among the best Clark cards created to date, the sale passes the previous record of $366,000 for a other card. I'm not going to read all that stuff. Nobody cares.
I was at an event Wednesday night in which she was meant to attend. She did not attend, and I was going to recommend an endorsement deal for her. Just pull her aside. The Clark bar, the old candy bar. I mean, she could bring it back in a really big way, but unfortunately, she did not show. I was there. I saw her name tag. That's on her. Anyway, that's it. Send you good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner. And this is the Pete the Planner Show. There were this event I was at. There was 3 people who are rather interesting that were certainly invited, and they had name tags there. And these 3 people were Caitlin Clark, Tyrese Halliburton, and Marcus Freeman, coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And to my knowledge, none of the three were in attendance. But I held out hope that I could look up to Ms. Clark and say, playing really well.
Is she taller than you?
I mean, who isn't?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything for the people?
No.
All right, we've gone along. Oh, Kristen, our Dame does. What is it?
I was going to say stay getting money.
Oh.
Whoa. Holy Moses. Really?
Yeah, let's see what kind of reaction I got. But I guess I know now.
Anyway, stay getting money.